Okay. The last thing we have here, guys, inside Mr. Cell is the cytoskeleton, because the cell is more than just a plasma membrane and a blob of fluid inside with a bunch of little tiny organelles. Okay. We have this very extensive cytoskeletal structure, which consists of these three types of fibers. Okay, fibers, skeleton. All right, these things will make the shape of the cell. They will assist in movement of the cell. They will assist in the movement of organelles. They do a lot of fantastic work. Another great thing about the cytoskeletal structure inside of us, or inside of our cells, is that if it's not needed, the cell will disassemble it and reassemble it in another locale. Okay. So these are assembled and disassembled as needed. So this is a very, very, very dynamic thing that we have inside the cell. And you really always think of it being just stagnant. And it's not. There's a lot of stuff going on here. So we have our three different types of cytoskeletal structures: actin, intermediate filaments, and microtubules. Smallest to biggest. Okay, that's what we have here. Actin are the smallest. This is what it looks like right here. This green thing right here is the actin filament. That's really small. Okay. Looks like a twisted pearl. Okay, it looks kind of like DNA, just in a pearl-like format. All right. Actin filaments, you kind of see them in two major ways here. They help to maintain the shape of the plasma membrane, so you find them just on the underside surface of a plasma membrane. Do I have that video in here? I don't have that video in here. I may show it next week when we do our review, though, because it's like 10 minutes long. And we've done enough today, I think, probably. You, I think, would agree with me on that. All right. So you'll find these on the underside of the surface. So they help to maintain the shape and integrity of the plasma membrane. Pretty easy. They also provide support for stuff that stick off the surface. Okay. They support the microvilli. So if I draw a cell here, okay, this is a cell. The microvilli are just these tiny little hairs that extend off the surface of certain cells. These are called microvilli, these little hairs. Okay. Actin filaments will extend from the surface of the plasma membrane into these little hair-like extensions, all right? And they increase surface area, all right? That's their function, increase surface area. They also are involved with movement, okay? They will also move stuff around as well, all right? So actin filaments are a pretty involved microskeletal structure here inside of the cell. And that's all inside just a eukaryotic cell, us, okay? It's also in amoeboid-like cells. Amoebas will move around by extending out this false foot called a pseudopod. That's done by the function of actin filaments. If you sit there and you flex, this is able to happen because of the interaction of actin filaments inside skeletal muscle and what's called myosin, another motor protein, okay? But that's found in a lot of specialized cells, muscle cells. And that's what you see right here, okay? This is actin, and then this blue thing here is the myosin molecule. You get a little bit bigger in size, and now they give it this dramatic term called intermediate. Boom, boring, right? Intermediate filaments, we had one supporting the cell membrane, actin, and now we have one supporting the nuclear membrane, intermediate, all right? Couple word difference, always make a good question as a distractor for multiple choice or matching type things. Aside from helping to form the structure of that nuclear envelope, it also does a couple of other fantastic things as well. It's involved with cell-to-cell junctions, all right? What's that mean? Well, an individual cell will just say it's me, okay? That's fantastic, right? But I need another cell to stick to this cell here, my face, and now this face, right? I need cells to stick together, and I need a bunch of them to stick together, because what do a bunch of cells coming together form? Tissues, okay? But now I can help keep things to form a boundary, and I can make a barrier. And now that's what you see in a lot of skin cells, okay? I have all these skin cells here. They're all stuck together, really tight, all right? Helps to keep these things attached, okay? So they don't slough off. So they form this nice little barrier here. Another thing they do is provide keratin. Keratin is a protein to give strength to skin cells. So it's what's allowing me to kind of yank my skin off here and twist it and turn it in multiple different ways, and it doesn't pull off the body as well. So intermediate filaments are really fantastic from a very small standpoint, like nuclear envelope, or from a bigger picture standpoint, which is keeping cells stuck together so they can form tissues. The last one we have here, guys, is microtubules. And microtubules are really big. There's a lot of fancy pants letters on this thing. As you kind of see, it's made up of a couple different things called alpha and beta. This is alpha, A-L, P-H-A. And this is called beta, B-E-T-A. I don't care, okay? They are made of some huge globular proteins called alpha and beta tubulin. Who cares, all right? They have this fancy pants arrangement, okay? They call them dimers because there's two, an alpha and a beta, two dimers. Who cares? What in the heck do they do? Okay. Microtubules are very much involved with helping us, and we said this with actin, but microtubules are really the big thing that are really helping to move around a lot of different things inside the cell, okay? Microtubules interact with various different motor proteins, and kinesin and dynein are two of them. I'm not going to ask you. Just call them motor proteins, okay? Motor molecules, motor proteins, because that's what they are, okay? Just use motor molecules or motor proteins, and I will be happy, okay? So these motor proteins interact with the microtubules, and it looks like when I show the video next week on next Wednesday, okay, it looks like this creepy thing is walking. It's disturbing because it looks real, okay? Looks just like a creepy person walking around carrying a big sack, all right? So these microtubules help to move the vast majority of things around a cell. They are made by what's called the MTOC, and that's the Microtubule Organization Center, okay? And that's 3 slides from now, I believe. All right. So microtubules are big. They are comprised of 2 different types of globular proteins called alpha and beta subunits of tubulin. These dimers, as they're called, okay, form a massive highway system that interacts with motor proteins and allows things to be moved across the entire cell, not just a short distance like actin does inside of a cell, okay? Microtubules are made by what's called a microtubular organization center. It has a much more shorter name, which you're probably going to love, okay? But that's what microtubules do. So you'll find them all scattered around the middle portion of the cell, okay? Here's the microtubule right here, okay? This is that motor protein I was talking about, okay? When it goes one way, it's kinesin. When it goes another way, it's dynein, but you don't need to know that. That's like A and P stuff, okay? I don't expect you to know that. Just motor protein, okay? Motor protein carrying the vesicle. It looks like a dude carrying a big sack, like I said. And in that video that I'll show you next week, it really looks like it's disturbing, just without a head. Disturbing. So here, these are, on this side right here, are all slides. Okay, these are all slides. They've just been manipulated and treated, a staining technique to show it off. So here are those actin subunits, and they're, as you can kind of see, all over the place. Microtubules are kind of scattered all over the place. Again, it's pretty easy to see. Intermediates are kind of scattered all over about. So, I mean, we talk about them being located in one region, but I mean, they're all over. This just shows you what it looks like in real life. This is a slide from a chameleon skin. This is a slide from the feather here. And this is Eladia, basically. This is just an underwater plant, okay? And it shows you what that's kind of inside of it and what it's made of. So it's kind of cool. The thing that makes the things is the thing that you probably want to know about, right? Centrioles are that MTOC, okay? Centrioles are the microtubule organization center. So microtubules are made by the centrioles. It's arranged in 9 overlapping triplets. It's composed of 27 microtubules. Let's just do this. I'll put a squiggly line and a squiggly line. Okay? I don't care. Okay? What I want you to know is that these things are only in animal cells. They are paired at right angles. Okay? At right angles. There they are. They're only in an animal cell. There's always 2 of them. They're always paired. They're always near a nucleus. 3 things. Only in animal cells. Always near the nucleus, always paired, always at right angles to each other. Okay. Collectively, they're referred to as a centrosome. I'll just write it out here. The 2 centrioles. CENTRIOLES are referred to as REFFERED. There you go, right? Referred. Doctor typing there, okay? The centrosome is just what we call the paired centrioles together, right? And it's sometimes used interchangeably, and I honestly cannot remember if it is in this book. I think this book, like centrioles, the A&P book, like centrosome, it just depends on who writes the book, okay? Centrosome, centrioles, they're both the same thing in my head, okay? What's the function of a centriole? It makes microtubules. It is the MTOC, the microtubule organization center. Okay. They also help give rise to some other things that extend off that plasma membrane, as you can see right there, cilia and flagella. Different from microtubules, okay? Different from those little, different from actin, going off and give rise to that microvilli. There's Mr. Sperm right there. There's that big old whip. Flagella. Okay. I have cilia and flagella here. Oh, sweet, right? I have cilia and flagella. Cilia and flagella. What do we have? Flagella. I lost my pen. Flagella. Movement. Propulsion. Okay, because they're both involved in movement, guys. Okay, they're both involved with movement. They extend off of the plasma membrane. I think it's pretty obvious here in the sperm, it's extending off of the plasma membrane. okay? But the flagellum is involved with propulsion. So this is cell movement of the cell, okay? This is taking that sperm through the female reproductive tract. There are 18 microtubules. 2 single pairs in the center. It's a 9+2 pattern. 9+2. Okay, get rid of it. Okay. What is it? Flagellum is an extension off that plasma membrane. What does it do? Propulsion. Okay, that's its function. Cilia are much shorter than a flagellum, and they don't even have a picture here. That's kind of disheartening. All right. So if I draw a cell, okay, there's cilia, which is much shorter than a flagellum, which is also much shorter than, which is also kind of this intermediate thing to what those microvilli are. Those microvilli are really short. Okay, flagellum is always really long. It's involved with propulsion, a movement of that cellular structure away from a location. Flagellum that we have right here, cilia, okay, that we have right here are shorter than flagellum. It's also involved with movement, okay? This is how cilia move, okay? So it's like oars on a boat. Inside of us, we see this here in our respiratory tract, all right? Down the trachea right here. These cilia beat in one direction, all right? And it helps us to get, see? It helps us to get stuff that we inhale, to push it up and out so it doesn't get down in the lungs. I hocked it up and I just swallowed it back down, or you can spit it out on the ground, right? That's what cilia do. Cilia is involved with movement, but it's movement of stuff across the surface of a cell inside us. There are also some cilia as well that are involved with some movement in some very rudimentary eukaryotic structures and some various different types of archaea, but I don't care about that. I care about us. I care about people, okay, and what's inside the people and examples inside of us, all right? So the 2 examples I have, flagellum, really long, okay? Hairs, a little bit shorter than that, moving stuff across the surface of a cell to get rid of it.